Hi influencers, welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about reason why many health information professionals are not getting their credential. Now, I did do a couple of interviews and met with a few HIM professional students, people who are already in the field and things like that, just to find out what the delay is, what's going on, and what's in their mindset. We do have a lot of videos on why you should get credential. We know the importance of them. And when I say credentials, I'm talking about getting certified, taking those exams, attending those courses. And then my focus is mainly on the AHIMA credentials certification, the CHDA. You also have RHIA, RHIT, coding credentials, CCS, CCSP, all of that. Lots of people are not getting credentialed. We know things are happening all over the country, but aside from that, I really wanted to pick their mindset to find out exactly what is causing them not to get credential. And so it was interesting to learn and get this information. I do have my notepad here that I'm using to make sure I stay on track. And I'll just provide you some of the things that they told me about the method, I guess, to the madness. So I'm going to start with listing them out, and then we can get into a discussion if need be. Again, if you have any pointers and you have your reason as to why you haven't gotten credentialed yet, or you have not taken, or you plan not to even take it at all, comment down below, let me know. It's great for us to share information. Knowledge is power. And I just want to make sure that everybody get a nice insight as to what other people are doing. So let's jump right into this video. The first thing is they don't give a.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you something.
They don't care. They really don't care. They have no interest in getting it. They don't care what you say, how important it is. They just don't want to do it. They just don't want. There's nothing you can do about it. If you have that mindset already, you're not going to get credentialed. Another thing is they are not interested in a leadership management role, becoming a boss. They don't want to do any of that. They don't want to have to manage employees, have to be anybody's boss, call the shots on anything. They just want to work and do their job. Nothing that has to do with that huge responsibility. If you're in a leadership role or if you're in a management role, you have to deal with productivity. You have to deal with maybe providing corrective actions. You have to deal with creating goals and those kind of things. So they're not interested in those type of role, and that causes them not to want to get their credential, because you know people who hold those credentials have a higher chance of getting a leadership role, like the RHIA. When you have that credential, it can place you above others to get a leadership role. They are close to retirement. Now this is interesting because there are a lot of people who are grandfathered into roles. There are people who were in the position years ago and they're still in the position now. Back in the days, the HIM industry was not the way it is now. Things are becoming a little bit more difficult. You have to get all these credentials. You have to spend a lot of time in school, re-educate yourself, and people are not going to do that. So if they're of that age of retirement or close enough to it, they're not interested in going to get their credential. The next one, they don't want to deal with the costs, expense, loans, and they just can't afford it. And that's understandable because some people can stage themselves to be able to afford it. I'm going to do a video on how you can assist yourself to pay for your tuitions and your credentials. But a lot of people don't want to deal with that cost. They don't want to deal with the expenses. Maintaining a credential is a lot of money, and if you don't have those jobs that can pay for it, you're going to have to pay out of pocket for it. And the more you get that alphabet soup, all those credentials, you must maintain them annually, maybe every 2 years or whatever it is. So they don't want to deal with that. The next one is they do not want to do this because they don't need it for their current job roles. So if you're in a job that maybe requires you not to sit for the exam, some people are going to be comfortable. They don't want to take the exam. Why would I take the exam if my employer, my boss is saying that I really don't need that credential? So they're going to sit on that job. They're not really worried about going anywhere else. You don't need it for your role, so why waste the time? Another one is they are content with their current salary, pay, bonuses, increase, whatever they're getting at the moment, they're fine. They don't want anything extra. I'm okay with the money I make. I don't want to have to deal with what it takes to get that extra money, and is it going to be a differentiation between their current pay rate. If it's not going to shift much, or if they just don't want to deal with it, they're not going to do that because they don't want to have to deal with that. They're comfortable with what they currently make. They're not interested in promotions, advancement, professional growth, and development. I don't need to enhance my skill set. I'm good with what I know. I'm doing great with what I know. My manager's comfortable with what I'm doing, so they're not going to worry about advancing their skill set. They don't care about moving up in the industry. They don't care about the promotion. So they're not going to get certified if that's the case. They don't want to go to school to obtain that degree. Getting a degree is work. I'm currently in my master's program, and it is work. I do have an associate's, I have bachelor's degrees in HIM, IT, you name it. And it's not a piece of cake. You have to do a lot of work for it. So some people don't want to put themselves through that to obtain another degree, whether it's at the associate's level, bachelor's level, post-bachelorette, master's program. They don't want to, and how much more of sitting to study for an exam. So they don't want to do that. Some of them already are in the role that they want to be in. A lot of us want that developmental skill set so we can move into our role. People have big dreams to become a certain holder in HIM. They want to become leaders. You want to get into coding if you're in ROI. And so most people who are not sitting for those credentials, they're comfortable in their role. They don't want to do anything else. And they feel that I am where I need to be. This is where I want to finish up in my career path. So they're not going to sit for those exams. Also, comfortability, we've been saying that a lot, and satisfaction. If you have that, what more are you going to ask for? If I'm comfortable, I'm satisfied, I have no issues, I have no stress, then I'm not really going to bother to add anything else to my plate that I don't need to. Okay guys, so other ones are things like time and dedication. A lot of people don't have the time to sit through school, the time to sit to study, the time to go buy the books. Invest time, dedication, and be consistent to study for this exam and get the credential. So they don't want to waste time because they feel that when they do that, it's not going to benefit them in the long run because they can't see it through. So that's a little bit understandable. Sometimes I feel like don't waste your money and don't waste your time if you're not dedicated, if you're not driven. We can, boost people, we can motivate people, but you have to want it for yourself. And if you feel as though based on your current life condition, what's happening, family crisis, anything is going to prevent you from getting it done, then do not waste time at that moment in time to do your credentials. And then also they consider themselves to be, don't hate me on this, lazy. And I do agree with this because there are several people that I have mentored years and years until today, they still have not gotten their credential. And it's not that they can't do it, they're able to, but they're just lazy. And I'm sorry, when you're lazy, you're lazy. So some people have admitted, I'm just lazy. Nkechi, I just don't feel like doing it. I know once I start doing it, I'm just gonna find something else to do. There's a distraction. I am just too lazy to get that credential. So it is what it is. The final thing is having that mental state, that mindset, that brain power to be able to do what you need to get your credential. If you are not able to focus and have that mindset as what needs to be done and set those goals and strategize your plan, then for them it's a waste of time. My brain is not built like that. So these are some reasons that people have told me why to date they have not sit for their credential. They don't feel like they need it. They don't want to get it. It's too expensive. It's too much time. It might take me longer. Procrastination. So many different things happens to hinder one from sitting for their credential certification exam. And I have an open mindset about it because looking at all these different reasons, a lot of them make sense. You don't want to put yourself in a financial bind to go take a loan out and you may not be able to pay it. There are various things that you can do. As I said, I will make a video on that where you can help with your cost. You don't want to start registering for courses that you don't complete. Then you're dealing with having to withdraw, or you're dealing with having to drop the class and then your GPA is affected. You don't want to deal with not being able to put time into study, and every time you're procrastinating. Maybe you bought the study guide and you can't do anything. All these things really play a role in getting you prepared for the exam, and if you cannot put your mindset to get it done, then it is pointless. I just wanted to share what people are saying, what their thoughts are, and why this delay is happening with a lot of people getting their credentials and certification. Let me know down below what you think. What has made you not get your credential? What has hindered you from getting that credential? Why do you feel the need not to get it? I like to get more answers on this so that we can share it amongst ourselves and just educate ourselves and be knowledgeable as to what's going on in our HIM industry. All right, guys, so don't forget to subscribe, like this video if you found it to be helpful, valuable. Give me a thumbs up, and I will see you guys on the next one.